Yeah, a little different story out in Worcester. You can see how much snowier it is right now, and that is the case. When you go out into Worcester County and add some elevation, we're talking over 5 inches of snow in Hubbardston, over 3 in Lunenburg, over 2.5 in Templeton. And this is the area that will see a widespread 2 to 4 with the higher elevations getting up to 6. Coating to a couple of inches closer to Boston, that rain snow line south of 44, South Coast Cape and the islands, the only spots with rain right now. Snow is heaviest along the Pike, Worcester, west and south down to Southbridge and Sutton. This is all shifting eastward, but the back edge you can see is out in the Berkshires right now. So this is going to be tapering off with temperatures hovering just above freezing. You've heard our crews out in the field talking about how the roads are mostly just wet this morning, and it's going to stay that way the next couple of hours unless you're in the higher elevations. And then by 9 o'clock, this is wrapping up. We're watching for those potential snow squalls to come through between noon and 4 p.m. and then the skies are going to clear, but they are ushering in some colder air on a gusty wind. So I would say right around that 2 o'clock hour, that's when you watch for those potential snow squalls, and then the winds really ramp up and the cold comes in behind this front. It is 12 degrees in Chicago this morning, and that's the cold that's on the way. So wind gusts over 40 miles per hour, could touch 50 in the hills and the Cape, where we do have a wind advisory through 10 p.m. So if you're heading into Boston for holiday lights, temperatures in the 30s, it will be dry, winds gusting over 40 miles per hour. And look at these wind chills. It's going to feel like it's in the 20s by tomorrow morning. Wind chills in the single digits in teens. So be ready for that temperature drop into the 20s tonight with those bitter wind chills on your Friday. Hey, at least the sun will be back. Cold does ease gradually over the weekend. We're watching for a flurry or a sprinkle on Sunday and then a big warm up next week. Look at that, 50s with some rain later.
Good Thursday to you, waking up to the first snow of the season, really in most areas. The South Coast Cape and the islands, pretty much the only spots dealing with rain. The snow is going to wind down by about 9 o'clock this morning in most areas, and then there will be a break, but watch out for some hit or miss snow squalls coming through between noon and 4 o'clock this afternoon. A brief burst of snow or rain and reduced visibility. Keep that in mind. That's coming in with an Arctic front that is going to drop the temperatures. The winds really pick up, gusts 30, 40, even 50 miles per hour possible late this afternoon, and that's going to send the wind chill into the single digits and teens by tomorrow morning. The temperatures gradually ease over the course of the weekend.
And a good Thursday to you. First snow of the season. And look at this in the higher elevations in Worcester County. 6 inches in Warren, 5.5 in Hubbardston, Fitchburg, about 4 inches of snow. Lower amounts, but still. Brockton, 1/2 inch of snow. That rain snow line pushed all the way down near 44. So the South Coast, Cape and Islands really just mostly rain. Elsewhere, coating to a couple of inches of snow, especially on the non-paved surfaces until you get out closer to 495. The Merrimack Valley, a lot of Metro West into the Worcester area. This is where we're seeing 2 to up to 4 inches of snow, and with elevation out through the Worcester Hills, we're talking about some spots seeing, yes, 4 to 6 inches of snow. 1 or 2 of the highest spots may come in just a little bit higher. So obviously this has been impacting your morning commute, but look at the temperatures. You can see how inside of 495 they're running in the mid 30s. So a lot of this snow is falling and the roads have stayed just mainly wet. So keep that in mind as you're heading out. The back edge of this shifting here into the western part of the state. So through about 10 o'clock this morning, I think this is going to be shifting offshore. It's just one thing that we are dealing with today, though, because look, between noon and 4 p.m., we're going to be watching for snow squalls. Not everyone will see them. They'll be hit or miss. But if you do get into one of these, you can see the visibility come way down with a brief burst of snow. So keep that in mind. Also going to be watching the winds. They will pick up this afternoon, could gust toward 50 miles per hour in the higher elevations and on Cape Cod, where there is a wind advisory till 10 p.m. And that wind is bringing in the cold, so wind chills will drop into the single digits and teens tonight and early tomorrow morning. So let me step you through the timeline here as that morning snow with a little bit of rain shifts offshore through about 10 o'clock this morning. And there is a little break in the action, but by noontime, look, we're starting to see these snow showers and squalls push into the western part of the state. They will drift eastward into the afternoon, 2, 3 o'clock. They will be hitting some areas. Other areas won't be seeing anything, but that risk is with us through about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and then they should shift offshore as the colder air starts coming in on a westerly wind and the skies begin to clear. So be ready for a snow squall mid-afternoon or so, and then the clearing skies giving way to those increased winds. Temperatures start dropping this evening as this Arctic front comes on in. That's what's triggering the squalls. Look at the temperatures behind it. 10 in Minneapolis this morning, 12 in Chicago, and that's the air that is working on in our direction. So you feel those winds gusting 40, close to 50 miles per hour late in the day, and that is going to knock back the wind chills. The winds keep going through the overnight into tomorrow morning. That wind advisory up through the higher elevations and Cape and Islands through 10 o'clock this evening. And that means if you are headed to the Boston Common for holiday lights, you need to be ready for the winds. They will be gusty, and even though temperatures will be in the 30s, it will feel like it is in the 20s with those stronger winds. In fact, the wind chill dropping through the 20s this evening, but by tomorrow morning, feeling like the single digits in teens. So be ready for that as the skies clear out tonight. Temperatures do drop into the 20s. Tomorrow is a much colder day, upper 20s to around freezing with sunshine. It is windy and it is cold. That wind chill stuck in the teens pretty much all day long. And notice the temperatures aren't doing much better. So the cold is with us heading into the weekend. The wind should ease gradually on Saturday. And as we get into Sunday, a little system is going to pass by to the north. That could trigger a couple sprinkles or flurries, especially north of the Pike. And then we'll wait for the warmer temperatures to get on in here. And look at that. We are talking about rain on Monday with temperatures running in the 50s.